Have you ever felt like you're capable of so much more, if only your mind would stop getting in the way? What if the only thing standing between you and your full potential was a belief you didn't even know you had? This isn't just theory, it's a mindset shift that could completely reshape your future, starting from the way you think today. Throughout history, the wisest minds have all arrived at one profound realization. Your mind is the master architect of your destiny. It's not just a poetic idea. Your mind designs your beliefs, influences your decisions, and silently shapes whether you rise in success or sink into defeat. And yet most of us are only skimming the surface of this immense mental power. We allow invisible limitations like fear, doubt, and outdated beliefs to quietly sabotage our potential. We let uncertainty whisper louder than our inner voice of courage. But what if there were a way to break those chains? What if the prison was never real to begin with? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said that we don't suffer because of the events in our lives. We suffer because of our judgments about them. Let that sink in for a moment. The external world throws hurdles, yes, but it's often the internal walls we build ourselves that hold us back the most. Now ask yourself, what could happen if you rewired those judgments? If you changed the way you interpret setbacks and embraced a mindset that empowers instead of restricts? Make no mistake, rewiring your thinking has the power to unlock an entirely new realm of possibility. In this video, we're diving into actionable, time-tested strategies to help you tap into the dormant strength within your mind. This isn't vague motivation. It's a roadmap rooted in Stoic wisdom that, when applied, could quite literally alter the course of your life. So if you're ready to take that first brave step toward mental freedom, drop an "I'm ready" in the comments and let's walk this path together. It's so easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism. We convince ourselves that success only counts if it's flawless, that we have to be ready before we begin. But what if that's exactly what's holding us back? As we touched on earlier, when you release the obsession with perfection and instead focus on steady progress, you begin to uncover the true power of persistence. That's the heart of Stoic living, not chasing flawless results, but embracing the growth that happens along the way. Big transformations often begin with small, consistent shifts. This is the very essence of living stoically, finding value and meaning in the process rather than in the illusion of a perfect end. When you shift your focus in this way, not only do your goals feel more achievable, but the work itself becomes more fulfilling and motivating, right here, right now. There's something deeply powerful about learning from someone who's already walked the path you're on. Mentorship isn't just about transferring skills or absorbing knowledge. It's about personal transformation that often arises from the insight, encouragement, and clarity provided by someone who's already been where you're headed. In Stoic philosophy, the role of a mentor goes beyond advice. They model a life of virtue and practical wisdom. Just as Seneca learned from his teachers and Marcus Aurelius from his philosophical predecessors, we too grow best when guided by those who embody the values we strive for. A mentor doesn't just teach you what to think, but how to apply what you've learned. They help you navigate life's complexities through Stoic principles like focus, discipline, and inner resilience, turning theory into practice and setbacks into lessons. Picture yourself standing at a critical crossroads, whether it's a career move, a life transition, or a moment of uncertainty. Having a seasoned guide to turn to can make all the difference. Mentors often see strengths in us that we overlook. They push us gently but firmly outside our comfort zones into new arenas where growth and clarity await. But their impact extends beyond specific decisions. A mentor shapes the way you think, sharpens how you interpret challenges, and strengthens your commitment to act with integrity. Their stories, experiences, and example become living lessons in perseverance and purpose, not just teaching you to survive life's storms, but to rise above them. Stoicism reminds us, it's not the events themselves that shape our lives, but our responses to them. A great mentor helps you cultivate thoughtful, intentional responses rooted in your deepest values. So how do you find a mentor like this? Start by identifying the qualities you truly admire. Seek out people who embody those traits, whether in your profession, your community, or even among authors who have deeply influenced you. Reach out, ask questions, express your respect for their journey, and remember, mentorship should be mutual, built on shared respect and a sincere desire for growth. Because if you're still moving through life with unresolved emotional baggage, it's like running a marathon with a heavy backpack on your shoulders, slowing you down and draining your energy before you even reach halfway. In the previous part, we talked about how carrying emotional baggage is like running a marathon with a heavy backpack. You simply can't go far or enjoy the journey unless you start letting go. Now it's time to face that weight and begin the process of releasing it, step by step. Addressing this emotional burden doesn't just make life lighter, it opens the door to a more meaningful and liberated existence. Stoicism offers a powerful lens through which to view this process. It doesn't ask you to forget the pain of the past, but instead to understand that it's not the event itself, but how you perceive it that shapes your emotional reality. Imagine if you could look at something painful from your past and no longer see a permanent scar, but a meaningful lesson, one that helps shape your character. Stoics emphasize the present, what you can control, your attitude and your response. They encourage you to observe your emotions with clarity, to trace them back to their source, and to then consciously choose not to let them dictate your actions. So how do you start unpacking this emotional load? The first step is introspection. Take time to reflect. What emotions are holding you back? Are these feelings based in your current reality, or are they shadows of the past still haunting your present? This process isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about understanding it fully so you can manage it wisely. Acknowledging what you feel is the very first step toward mastering it, rather than being mastered by it. Next comes something that can feel incredibly hard but is deeply transformative: forgiveness. Forgiving others and yourself may be one of the most liberating acts of personal power. It doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, nor does it mean forgetting what happened. It means freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. As Epictetus wisely put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Forgiveness isn't about changing the past. It's about making sure the past no longer controls your future. Another essential step is to reframe your narrative. Stop viewing past experiences as purely negative, and instead look for the strength or wisdom they brought you. This doesn't erase the pain. It gives you ownership over how it shapes your life going forward. You may not be able to rewrite what happened, but you can absolutely choose the story you tell yourself about it. Dealing with emotional baggage is an ongoing practice. It's not a one-time purge, but a continuous process of self-awareness, recalibration, and acceptance. Supportive practices like meditation, journaling, or therapy can serve as powerful tools on this path. They help create inner stillness, space for reflection, healing, and clarity. Now picture this. What if you could plant a single thought into your mind, and that thought grew, day by day, into a belief so powerful it shaped your actions and ultimately your destiny? This isn't a fantasy. It's the very essence of how repetition and visualization can literally rewire your brain and prepare you for success. It's about crafting a mental blueprint of your goals and reinforcing that vision until it becomes part of who you are. Stoicism reminds us, we become what we think about most. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized focusing our thoughts on what we seek, not what we fear. And by consistently visualizing success and repeating affirmations, you begin to see those outcomes as not just possible, but inevitable. And that's where we're headed next. Previously, we talked about planting a single thought in your mind, one that could grow into a powerful belief capable of shaping your behavior and your destiny. Now, it's time to bring that idea to life using two key tools: repetition and visualization. Let's begin with something simple yet powerful: positive affirmations. Choose a few statements that reflect your strengths and potential, like "I am capable," "I am worthy," or "I succeed in what I pursue." Repeat these daily, ideally out loud, to strengthen their impact. Regular repetition not only builds your self-belief, but also helps dissolve negative or self-limiting thoughts that quietly hold you back. Make visualization part of your daily ritual. Spend a few moments each morning or evening vividly imagining the version of yourself that has already achieved your goals. Where are you? What are you doing? How do you feel? The more sensory-rich your mental image is, the more your brain will believe it's possible. Do this often, while commuting, walking, or exercising, and you'll begin to notice a shift. Your thoughts and behaviors will naturally begin to align with the vision you've rehearsed so consistently. This isn't magic, it's mental conditioning. Remember, the Stoics didn't just talk philosophy, they lived it. Epictetus once said that just as musicians train to perfect their art, philosophers train daily to perfect their soul. In your case, visualization and repetition aren't abstract exercises. They're your daily practice for training the mind and actively shaping your future. When you visualize success consistently and reinforce it with spoken affirmations, you're not just dreaming, you're building a solid mental and emotional foundation that informs your decisions and actions. This practice brings clarity, confidence, and commitment. Life will always present challenges, but how we respond to those challenges will determine the direction of our journey. One of the most powerful tools for not only surviving, but thriving through life's adversity is the mindset of continuous learning. Keeping your mind active, curious, and open to new experiences doesn't just make you adaptable. It also builds resilience and equips you with the knowledge and skills needed to overcome real-world obstacles. The Stoics deeply valued the pursuit of lifelong learning. Seneca famously said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." He believed that constant learning was a key pillar of inner strength, sharpening the mind and preparing it for life's complexities. And that wisdom is more relevant now than ever, because in a world that's always changing, adapting through learning is essential if we want to stay grounded, effective, and fulfilled. So, how do you build continuous learning into your life in a way that strengthens resilience? Start with a shift in mindset. View challenges as opportunities to grow, not obstacles to avoid. When something new or difficult arises, don't retreat. Lean into it with curiosity. Ask questions, seek out knowledge, try to understand the situation from different angles. This approach not only deepens your understanding, but shrinks the fear that often surrounds the unknown. Next, carve out time for intentional learning. This doesn't mean enrolling in formal courses, though that can help. It might be as simple as reading books, listening to podcasts, attending workshops, or engaging in thoughtful conversations with people you respect. The key is consistency, just like physical fitness requires regular effort. But knowledge alone isn't enough. You have to apply what you learn. Use what you've gained in your work, your relationships, your daily life. Reading about negotiation or leadership is one thing. Applying those concepts in a team meeting or a real decision, that's where transformation happens. Application cements learning, builds confidence, and prepares you for future challenges. And don't forget to reflect. Reflection allows you to recognize how far you've come, understand which methods work best for you, and identify areas that still need attention. It's a core part of the Stoic way. Many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, would review their thoughts and actions at the end of each day to ensure they were living in alignment with their values and growth goals. But here's the trap. Many of us wait for the perfect moment before we begin anything truly important. Have you ever found yourself hesitating, thinking the timing isn't right? In the previous section, we talked about how waiting for the perfect moment to learn or take action is a trap, because that moment never truly arrives. Now let's take that idea even further, into the realm of action itself. Let's be honest, how many times have you hesitated because you felt you weren't ready? I'm not good enough yet. It's not the right time. I don't have all the skills. The truth is, opportunity doesn't wait for you to be fully prepared. It arrives when you start moving, imperfectly but intentionally. The idea of a perfect moment, it's a myth. What actually arrives is the chance to act, even if it's messy, even if you're unsure. And it's through action, not theory, that we grow. The Stoics were clear on this. Virtue must be practiced, not just pondered. Marcus Aurelius said it best: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That is not just a quote. It's a clear call to action, a challenge to stop thinking and start doing. So how do you move from planning to actual progress? Start by breaking your task down into smaller, more manageable pieces. This reduces overwhelm and creates momentum. Let's say you want to start a business. Don't try to perfect a full business plan on day one. Instead, research your target market, brainstorm product ideas. These early actionable steps build clarity and confidence. Next, set clear and immediate goals. Keep them specific and attainable, so you know exactly what to do next. Clarity reduces procrastination, and with each small goal completed, your confidence grows. And so does your habit of taking action. Also develop a mindset that values effort over flawlessness. Mistakes, they're part of the process. In fact, they're often your greatest teachers. What matters is not avoiding mistakes, but learning from them and moving forward. That's the Stoic way. Focus on what you can control, your actions, your attitude, not the outcome. You can't control results, but you can control your discipline, your focus, and your response to failure. Finally, push yourself outside your comfort zone. Real action often means facing fear and uncertainty head-on. But courage doesn't mean fear is gone. It means you act anyway. Every time you take on a challenge, you not only move closer to your goal, you become mentally stronger, more resilient, and more capable. When you choose action over perfection, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of practical wisdom. The idea of living in accordance with what is real, what is now, and what truly matters. Remember, action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it one step at a time.